be sparking and rushing, mad like inside the dark. Call me Bill Snatcher, just a brother for the rapture. I hang live, holding on strong, hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifesting. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my sacred life.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? So today I want to have a conversation with you guys about the very real possibility that Mitsuki is going to be using his Sage Mode in the battle against Boro in order to recover the body of Hokage Naruto. Now, for the anime only viewers, this is the time of the month where a lot of content on the channel is going to be spoiler heavy, so I thank you for your support. If you're trying to read the Boruto manga and do so in a way that supports the channel, I'll leave a link down in the description box for you guys to do so. And I'll just say this right now, I am going to try and mix in a few videos this week with non-spoiler content on there. That way you guys can actually enjoy the content on the channel and not necessarily be alienated if I don't drop any videos. Like I said, over 80% of the content is spoiler free. But with that being said, if you're still here, I'm gonna assume that you guys are okay with me talking about spoilers. So when I was rereading the chapter, one of the things that stood out to me is the fact that out of everybody who fought against Boro, the person who did the best was Mitsuki. Like, Mitsuki did the best. Now, don't get me wrong, Boruto slammed a rasengan into Boro, and Boro looked at Boruto Uzumaki and says, wow, that rasengan actually packed a punch. And when it came to Kawaki, Kawaki is fighting for the kill. He's got his karma seal activated. He's got those limbs sticking out where he can impale Boro. He's going straight for the kill like he did when we were first introduced to him. And yet at the same time, Boro shrugs everything off because of that regeneration jutsu that he's able to use. Now, we know that Sarada did activate her 3 tomoe sharingan at various points in the manga chapter, and once she figured out how to kind of counter Boro, she basically took half of a boulder and just chunked it at this dude so these guys can escape, and she's talking about a counterattack. Now, the reason why I bring up Mitsuki's Sage Mode is when you look at the power gap, there's a significant power gap between Team 7, Kawaki, and this inner member of Kara and Boro. And what I find fascinating is the fact that we have all the conditions being met for Mitsuki to actually use Sage Mode and potentially close the gap. Now, when you look at Sage Mode, in particular Mitsuki's level of Sage Mode, there is a huge jump in power when it comes from what Sage Mode does to your base form. So a much younger Mitsuki who didn't have the level of training that he's now had, having gone out on these missions and working with Team 7, having been in the academy, Mitsuki, when he first used Sage Mode, when you had the flashback chapter that Masashi Kishimoto did in promotion for the Boruto movie, when you saw that Mitsuki Orochimaru flat out states that this kid's power has far surpassed my own. Now, the reason why that's so huge is, like I've talked about in my How Strong is Orochimaru video, this is a version of Orochimaru who already has wood release. This is a version of Orochimaru who's stronger, who during the war arc he felt confident enough, even after feeling the immense power of Hashirama Senju and Tobirama. Even after Tobirama flexed on everybody, Orochimaru still felt confident enough that he could manage to suppress the power of the second Hokage. Now, when it came to Hashirama, he acknowledged, I can't control this guy, but the second Hokage, I can control him. And so when you look at that, Mitsuki's potential is absolutely through the roof because his base now is a lot stronger. So if an undertrained Mitsuki with Sage Mode was able to essentially leap over Orochimaru, what do you think is going to happen now that he's able to use Sage Mode and he's able to really cut loose? Because when Orochimaru talked about using Sage Mode, he said, you got to do that when you're not in Konoha. You can't let people know you have this level of power. You can't do that in a situation where you can expose yourself. Now, when you look at what's going on here, they're in a completely separate dimension. This could be one of those things where Boruto, because he's been introduced to that poison mist, is not able to fight. Boruto might be out of the fight. Kawaki might be out of the fight. Sarada might still be there because Sarada is a very intelligent fighter and she does have the Sharingan, so she would be able to predict some of the movements that Boro had, and she would play a critical role in breaking down the jutsu. But one of the things that you have to look at is the fact that Mitsuki is at the point now where he's built up trust with his teammates. Because they're in a life or death situation, Mitsuki can unveil that level of power. We've seen it. We saw it in the versus Momoshiki arc, and we saw it in the Mitsuki desertion arc, that when Boruto's life is in danger, this dude has no problem with entering into Sage Mode and risking it all. So this could be one of those situations where Sarada is actually the first person in the manga Sarada who actually sees Mitsuki's Sage Mode, and I think that that would be very important. And I think that having Sarada and Mitsuki fight against Boro and potentially, I'm not saying defeat him, but potentially open up a door to where they're able to escape and kind of cut their losses. Or if it gets revealed that Boro, the reason why he holds a higher rank in the car organization, like a lot of people think that he holds over Delta, is because he's a dangerous fighter, but he isn't necessarily a super powerful one. This could be explained if you have Mitsuki use Sage Mode, but I want to know from you guys, how do you personally feel about the advantages that Mitsuki could have if he uses Sage Mode? And if he does use Sage Mode, what attacks do you guys want to see him use? But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.